The north of England is peculiarly rich in dragon lore, mostly in the form of heroic tales of knightly dragon slayers. Indeed, it has been claimed that the episodes of the great Anglo-Saxon poem Beowulf all belong to the early history of this region. That Heorot, the meadhall or banqueting house of Hrothgar, was at the Hartlepools. In these tales of romance of which dragon slaying forms the subject, the gods of ancient mythology, generally armed with thunderbolts, are replaced by valiant knights who slay the monsters with sword or with spear. Such fables of man-eating dragons, or worms as they were called, are widely scattered over various parts of Yorkshire, and often corroboration is sought to be given to them by stone carvings bearing the image of a man, a serpent and a sword. Though local tradition seems to have preserved little which distinguishes one legend from another, particularly in the matter of origins. A famous dragon legend is that of Bamborough, celebrated in a ballad called The Laidly Worm of Spindlestone Hearth, which was composed by Duncan Fraser, a poet of the Cheviots in the days of Bruce. The word hearth is pronounced half and signifies low-lying wet land. By the term laidly worm must be understood loathsome serpent. This ancient ballad runs through some 50 verses in true Northumbrian jingle. It tells of a king who once lived at Bamborough Castle, a widower with a beautiful daughter, and who, after a time, brought home for a second wife a queen, comely of form, but who in truth was a witch. Becoming jealous of her stepdaughter's beauty, she turns the girl into a serpent, which nothing could restore to human shape but the very problematical and exceedingly improbable reappearance of her brother, Child Wind, then long since gone to foreign parts. The worm, in the meantime, took up its abode at Spindlestone Hearth, where it consumes the milk of 7 cows and poisoned all the land around with its breath. For 7 miles east and 7 miles west and 7 miles north and south, no blade of grass or corn could grow, so venomous was her mouth. After a long course of time, however, it came to pass that Child Wind heard of the grievous happenings at home, and resolving to return, he called together his merry men, built himself a stout ship with tall masts, all of the rowan tree, for that timber was proof against witchcraft and magic. He sailed for home, and when the queen saw him coming, she worked her spells against the ship in vain. Safely the child landed at Beowulf Bay, arriving when the laidly worm was gyrating in one of its threatening frenzies. The valiant child, however, drew his berry brown sword and advanced without hesitation to the combat, when the monster thus addressed him.
"Oh, quit thy sword and bend thy bow, and give me kisses 3, for though I am a poisonous worm, no harm I'll do to thee."
So the child, with magnificent confidence, embraced the laidly worm, whereat it crawled into its lair, only to emerge immediately after as the long-lost and beautiful Margaret, his beloved sister. Joyfully the pair hied them to the castle, greatly to the consternation and discomfiture of the wicked queen, whom the child bitterly reproached in words, and then, by magic more potent than her own, transformed her into a noisome toad.
"Now on the sands near Ida's tower she crawls, a loathsome toad, and venom spits at every maid she meets along the road."
In the rugged country of Spindlestone Hearth in Northumberland, standing on the edge of a cliff, is an isolated rock known as the Bridle Rock, so called because local tradition has it that this was the stone over which the child threw his bridle reins when he went out to meet the worm. Nearby is a cave said to have been the lurking place of the deadly creature, and a few hundred yards away lies a hollow stone, 6 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 2 feet deep, now used as a drinking trough for cattle, but claimed as the legendary trough which held the milk of the 7 kine and from which the worm drank.